You have worn so many hats in your lifetime: a bodybuilder, a movie star, governor of California. You're using this chapter of your life to speak out against hate, against anti-Semitism in particular. Why?
Well, it's not this particular. It's like anything that I see that really bothers me, I get involved with it. If it is the fight against fossil fuels and to create a clean environment, if it is motivating people to get up and to go and become successful, or if it is prejudice and hatred that I've seen over the years rise. So it became kind of alarming to me, and I said to myself, Arnold, you don't have to just sit there and watch this whole thing. I think that you can get involved and use your platform to kind of speak out about that and how wrong it is because of my history. I come from a country that was part of the Second World War. Austria, Hitler himself was part Austrian. And it's all because we let this grow, this anti-Semitism and this hatred during that time. And so I just said to myself, well, I come from a place where this has been done once before. And I don't want that to happen again.
You stood up at this forum and you said,
and I was born with a father that was a Nazi. Think about that.
The air went out of the room. I've heard you talk about your father, but not like that. What made you say it that way?
Well, first of all, you have to understand, when I improvise a speech, I don't think about how I say something or what I say.
You used the story of your father to try to reach people who are getting sucked into groups that propagate hate. Mm-hmm. Talk about making that connection.
My father was, and so many other millions of men, was sucked into a hate system through lies and deceits. And so we have seen where that leads. As I've seen it firsthand, how broken those men were, the kind of atrocities that happened, how many millions of people had to die, and then they ended up losers. The Confederacy, losers. I say, all of this just doesn't work. Let's just go and get along, and love is more powerful than hate.
In this video that you did last month,
I want to talk to you today about the rising hate and anti-Semitism we've seen all over the world.
Which was incredibly powerful and has been seen how many times now?
Well, apparently,
Millions.
almost 100 million people saw it, and there's billions of impressions, so it's really fantastic.
You drew this parallel between participating in Nazi hate during World War II and hateful ideology that is growing in the U.S. now. Is that the path America is on right now?
I don't know if it's the path that we're on, but I know there's the danger that we go in that direction.
You put out another video after January 6th, 2021, and you compared the storming of the Capitol to Kristallnacht in Germany and in Austria in 1938, when Nazis burned synagogues, Jewish businesses and homes. About 30,000 Jewish men were taken. That was the beginning of it. What did you mean by that? I wanted to ask you that. What did you see on January 6th that reminded you of the beginning of years of hatred and killing in Germany and Austria?
Well, it's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the insurrection, that this is very dangerous. It's a wake-up call to let people know that you have to take this seriously, not just like, oh, let's get those right-wingers, let's put them to jail and all this stuff. No, this is much more than that. What creates something like that? And sadly, I have to say that no one really has covered it well, the insurrection, because they only said, okay, they were wrong and they have to go to jail and we have to punish them and all this stuff. But no one really has gotten into why was it that way? What powers do people have that are really upset and angry at government?
Well, part of it was that they were told that the election in 2020 was stolen.
No, but remember that it's always kind of the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Absolutely.
So it's not, that alone would not drive anyone to Washington. I think there was just such an unbelievable dissatisfaction. There's so much anger.
You said history shouldn't repeat itself. Donald Trump is now the front runner to be the nominee of your party, of the Republican Party. Given everything you said, does that concern you?
Absolutely not, because being a front runner of one party and letting them dig this hole deeper and deeper is going to make it easier for the Democrats in the end to win. It's sad to see that they couldn't come up with a new talent, with a new face that is a reasonable, smart, intelligent person that can lead this country in a Republican way.
You think there's no way he would win again?
No.
What if he did?
What is if it is a hypothetical question? But I can guarantee you that he's going to go maybe get the Republican nomination. Then when it comes down to the actual election, there's too many people now that have seen what he did as president, that I think when it comes to the majority on election day, I think they will see the difference between one or the other. And believe me, I'm not the first one to say, hey, this is really great to have Biden back as president. No, but there's just no better option there, the way it looks right now.
Connecting this back to January 6th, you say the country hasn't really learned from it. How do you, I mean, you're a leader, you were governor of a very big state. How do you reach those people when they are listening still to lies about the 2020 election and a leader who is perpetuating that still?
Well, they will be buying into it because they want to buy in. Even though when they hear the evidence and when they see, like, for instance, Fox with Tucker Carlson and all this being fired by spreading the wrong news, and Fox going to court because they have lied intentionally, not mistakenly, intentionally, over and over again about this. I mean, it's like, people hear that, but it doesn't mean anything because they just want to believe the election was stolen because Trump is their man.
But as that relates to the hate that you're trying to stop and the kind of the temperature that you're trying to help bring down in this country, how do you do that?
Well, it's not just that. Prejudice and hate goes into so many different directions. It's not about, do you believe that Trump's election was stolen or not? It has nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with just in general, all over the world, we have this problem now, that there's this hate and there's this prejudice. And we're talking about men against women, women against men, black against white, white against black, Americans against immigrants, immigrants against Americans. It's just like this, it's just, he's from over there and he's a Muslim and he's a Jew and he's black and he's this. I just think that we have to just diffuse that.